The story begins with Akutsu, a transfer student, making his debut in a new class. His appearance leaves everyone stunned. The teacher explains that Akutsu once tried using his father's hair tonic as a kid, but it turned out to be hair removal cream instead. Akutsu introduces himself with a self-pitying tale, hoping to win some sympathy and maybe even make a few friends. His classmates cheer him up, but we quickly learn his story is completely fabricated. Internally, he laughs at how gullible humans can be. As the teacher approaches, he notices something odd about Akutsu's hair. When he tugs on it, the truth is revealed. Akutsu is wearing a wig. Beneath it lies a full head of hair. The teacher feels duped, and Akutsu panics, claiming his hair suddenly grew back. To prove it, he even tries pulling it out. After this dramatic episode, the teacher tells him to take his seat. Akutsu complies, confident that no one suspects his real identity. As he surveys the room, one girl catches his attention. He finds her adorable, and when she smiles at him, he falls for her instantly. His body reacts with a comical intensity. During the break, Akutsu can't stop thinking about her, fantasizing about their potential relationship. He starts planning how to ask her out, but is interrupted when another boy confesses to her. She shuts him down without hesitation. A boy named Yuya then apologizes for his friend, who we learn is called Harona. Yuya introduces the girl as Lily, and Akutsu starts talking with Yuya and Harona to learn more about her. Apparently, Lily is also a transfer student, and Harona describes her as angelic. Akutsu, however, finds Harona's enthusiasm unsettling. Harona senses Akutsu's interest in Lily and warns him it won't be easy. He's been rejected 5 times already. Despite this, Harona tries confessing again, but is held back by Yuya, who urges him to wait for another day. Akutsu is impressed by Lily's ability to inspire such devotion, concluding she's perfect for his plan. On his way home, Akutsu wonders how to approach her. As luck would have it, he bumps into Lily in an alley. When he asks what she's doing there, she claims she got lost. Nervous, Akutsu reintroduces himself. Lily finds his awkwardness amusing and introduces herself in return. He notices her sleeve is torn and assumes he caused it when they collided. Offering to make amends, he's met with her playful suggestion that he take her out for tea instead. Flustered but thrilled, he agrees. As they chat, they bond over living alone. But as Lily crosses the road, Akutsu notices a truck speeding toward her. Without hesitation, he rushes to save her, triggering a dramatic transformation. He manages to protect her, though Lily is shocked by what she sees. She checks if he's okay, and despite his injuries, he brushes off her concern. A crowd starts to gather, so Lily quickly drags him away to a park. There, she asks if he needs a hospital, but he reassures her. Grateful, she thanks him for saving her. Then, to his horror, she starts questioning how he survived the impact, suspecting he isn't human. Realizing his cover is blown, Akutsu decides to come clean. He confesses that he's a demon on a mission to save Hell, which is in chaos due to a power struggle with the angels. His task is to find a charismatic leader to motivate the lazy demons. Akutsu asks Lily to take on this role, but she is overwhelmed and hesitant. As Lily processes this, she suddenly chains Akutsu to the ground. His shock deepens when she reveals her true identity. She's an angel. Her wings unfold as she mocks his astonishment. Though Akutsu struggles against her chains, she explains they are crafted from her energy and completely under her control. Irritated, she pokes his eyes and reveals she had already fought another demon earlier that day. The torn sleeve? A result of that scuffle, where she humiliated her opponent before defeating it. Enraged at the thought of his comrade's humiliation, Akutsu unleashes his power, breaking free from her chains. He lunges at her, but Lily easily dodges, impressed by his strength. As the fight continues, she lands a powerful kick that sends him flying. Catching him midair with her chains, she slams him to the ground and summons a scythe, ready to end him. She demands to know the demon's plans, but Akutsu refuses. Just as she's about to strike, she suddenly changes her mind, blowing in his face instead. Confused, Akutsu wonders if she's letting him go, but Lily proposes a deal. If he agrees to work for her, she'll spare him. Skeptical, he hesitates, but Lily threatens to expose him online, where he'd become a laughingstock. Reluctantly, Akutsu agrees. Lily then produces a special collar, pinning his arms to secure it. Once it snaps into place, Akutsu realizes he can never return to Hell. Now that Akutsu is officially Lily's servant, she begins plotting how to use him to track down demons. However, Akutsu flatly refuses, citing the moral code that binds demons. Ironically enough, they can't betray someone who has helped them. Lily, completely unfazed by his moral lecture, listens with obvious indifference. Akutsu tries to reinforce his stance, stating that he won't betray his kind, but Lily isn't interested in negotiation. When he attempts to remove the collar in defiance, he collapses, powerless. Lily calmly explains that the collar doesn't just nullify his powers, it also allows her to control his movements entirely. She warns Akutsu to reconsider his refusal, hinting that punishments await if he continues to resist. To his horror, Akutsu discovers that his body no longer obeys him. Lily demonstrates her control by forcing him to say things against his will, like begging her to issue commands. She orders him to fetch her a drink, but there's a catch. While her commands force him to comply, she can't dictate how he fulfills them. Moments later, Akutsu returns, striking bizarre poses, with no drinks in sight. Confused, Lily asks where they are, only for him to smugly explain that he stored the bottles in his body because she hadn't specified how to carry them. Outraged, she pelts him with a shoe in retaliation. After a while, Akutsu constructs a throne for her as a gesture of submission. Pleased with his work, Lily decides to reward him. The collar, however, forces him to request an embarrassing reward, a kick in the butt. Embarrassed, Lily hesitates, but reluctantly complies. As she extends her foot, a passing policeman interrupts, chastising them for public indecency. Startled, Lily flees the scene, and Akutsu finally regains control of his body as they take refuge in an alley. Shaken by the encounter, Lily gets serious. She warns Akutsu that if he doesn't cooperate, she'll make him do even more humiliating things in public. Still, Akutsu stubbornly declares he'd rather be exorcised than serve her. Lily dismisses the idea, stating she has her own goals and intends to keep him alive. Reluctantly, Akutsu agrees to help her locate demons, leveraging his ability to sense their presence. This concession seems to satisfy Lily for now, though she warns there will be consequences if he deceives her. She declares that he'll remain her servant, vowing to make him a decent and honest man as a reward. Akutsu, unimpressed, wonders how that's supposed to motivate him. Lily ponders what a teenager might want as a reward, but decides to brainstorm later. Their bickering is interrupted when the policeman reappears, forcing them to flee again, this time back to school. As Akutsu fumes about the cursed collar, he notices it's no longer around his neck. Instead, a pair of tattoos has taken its place. Lily conveniently forgot to mention this feature, which ruins Akutsu's plan to visit the pool later. Frustrated, he resolves to find a way to get rid of the collar and Lily. Meanwhile, Lily prepares her daily report for her superiors, but omits any mention of Akutsu. She sees him as a valuable asset and wants to prove her control over him, hoping to impress the heavens and make them regret how they've treated her. Their goals are entirely at odds, united only by their shared determination to thwart each other. In a flashback, Akutsu recalls a conversation with his superior, Liz. She informed him he'd be sent to the human world to address the demon's growing complacency and the angel's relentless attacks. Liz emphasized the need for a charismatic figure to inspire the demons, showing him countless humiliations the demons had suffered at the hands of the angels. Akutsu now realizes that his current predicament is eerily similar to the humiliations Liz showed him. Back in the present, Akutsu tells himself to hang in there. While watching TV, he comes across a program that sparks an idea. The next day, he arrives at school with a completely different aura, catching the attention of his classmates. It turns out he's decided to make Lily fall for him, hoping to manipulate her into removing the collar. He spent the entire night studying fashion and beauty magazines to revamp his image. However, Lily has undergone a transformation of her own. When she walks into class, she exudes an even more radiant aura than usual, leaving Akutsu stunned. As it turns out, Lily watched the same TV program and followed the same beauty routine. Both are furious, realizing they had identical plans to outshine each other. What starts as a battle of appearances quickly escalates into a subtle duel of flirtation. Lily starts by using the classic accidental hand touch while returning an eraser, pretending to be flustered. Akutsu, caught off guard, struggles to keep his composure. Determined not to lose, he counters by brushing a strand of her hair under the pretense of removing something from it. This bold move leaves Lily red-faced, muttering curses under her breath. Later, the teacher asks Lily to carry a stack of papers to the staff room. She seizes the opportunity to turn it into a test of Akutsu's resolve, sweetly asking for his help. Though it feels like a direct attack on his nerves, Akutsu doesn't back down. He rolls up his sleeves, showing off his veins as he takes the papers, earning Lily's grudging admiration. The Cold War between them continues throughout the day, with each trying to one-up the other in a relentless game of flirtation. By the end of the school day, both are utterly exhausted, though neither is willing to concede. Lily decides to end things with a final, decisive move. During a lesson, she deliberately trips on her way back to her seat, landing dramatically in Akutsu's chest. Following this up with a sweet, apologetic smile, she deals what seems to be the finishing blow. However, before Akutsu can respond, the teacher steps in, scolding them for their antics. Forced to call a truce, the two retreat. A few days later, Lily impatiently waits for Akutsu for what appears to be a date. Annoyed by his tardiness, she begins yelling, only to realize she's been shouting at two complete strangers.